Oamaru pig breeder and finisher Ian Carter is also chairman of the New Zealand Pork Industry Board. He's been involved in the pig industry for the past 20 years. It's an industry that's faced many challenges.
What we've got here is an indoor piggery that's running approximately 190 sows. We produce between 4,500 4,800 pigs a year. We've got full contract which supplies fresh pork on a weekly basis, and we've got 2 full-time employees. On this side of the farm we've got 146 hectares, which is all dry stock cattle, primarily bull beef, that we fatten and finish, buy them in 100 kilos. Across the road we've got a further 126 acres which we've recently purchased, and at this stage that's got dairy grazers on. We've been leasing it for 4 to 5 years, and now we've taken possession of it, so it's a case now of getting in. The money in the future is going to be spent over there just developing it. The climate's obviously a challenge. The winter climate from the stock point of view, as far as the piggery is concerned, the climate's pretty good. We don't have the extremes of weathers that you get in Canterbury, the extreme heat. We're on the coast, so from that point of view the pigs are good. We've got a grain supply that's handy, the North Otago grain supply in the lower South Canterbury region. Disease is the biggest risk to the piggery as far as cost of production. One of the things we did 2 years ago was totally depopulate this piggery and brought in a very high health status herd. I'm presently the chairman of the New Zealand Pork Board and have been for the last 2 years. The whole industry is nervous around this PRRS. It's a disease, it's the #1 pig disease in the world, and it's running viral through the majority of the world. There's only 5 countries without this particular disease. It's a key risk to our industry. PRRS is a production disease that effectively hits your breeding herd. It causes a large amount of abortions and stillborns and higher mortality in the farrowing sheds, possibly up to 70% in some extreme examples, but it's costing the US industry approximately $1 billion a year right now. That's our most likely source of the risk, and there's a number of different strains throughout the world with different virulence, and they continuously mutating and moving around the world. It's predominantly can be transmitted through the importation of pig meat. And the one peculiar thing about New Zealand is we've got a lot of what we call para-commercial or backyard piggeries, which have, the waste products are fed to these things. We've got waste products regs in New Zealand, but largely these people don't understand that, and they believe that they're doing themselves a favour and the environment a favour by putting food waste into a pig as opposed to into a landfill. So from their point of view, it's a positive that they're doing. It's environmentally positive, but potentially compromising the risk to New Zealand's commercial pig herd. We run a 3-week batching system where we have this piglets born every 3 weeks. We have approximately 24 sows farrowing every 3 weeks. Each one's running approximately 13 piglets born alive per sow per litter. So we work on weaning about 11.8 piglets each time. So approximately 90 to 95 piglets on a weekly production is what we produce. We run them in these farrowing crate facilities because we need to look after that newborn piglets. We've got sows that are 250 kilograms in weight. We've got anything up to 22 piglets being born that are 1 to 1.5 kilograms in size. We're trying to protect the newborn piglet. That's our main focus in here. We're in our weaner facilities. We wean at approximately 28 days old, so they're around 8 to 9 kilograms. We wean every 3 weeks, which gives us a batching system, and we wean 4 of these bays every 3 weeks. These guys will come out 8 to 9 kilos, and they'll leave this area about 30 to 31, 32 kilos. These guys are a couple of weeks away from going on the truck. They'll be in the late 80s, early 90 kilo bracket. They will be on a liquid feed system now where they're computer fed. They'll get fed 3 times a day. It'll automatically adjust the amount of energy that they feed, and it'll feed on a megajoule energy curve that we've put into the computer. These guys will be doing anything up to this stage 1.2 kilograms a day, and they'll be converting feed at something like 2.4, 2.5 kilograms to a kilogram live weight gain. We target 110 kilos live weight, which will give us somewhere around the 85 to 88 kilogram dress weight carcass. We're using predominantly a wheat-based diet in this farm. We do use a small amount of barley, about 120 tonne a year, for our breeding herd, solely goes into our breeding herd. The wheat is a higher density, higher energy, so we source that locally in South Canterbury, North Otago region, and we use up approximately 1,100 tonne to 1,200 tonne of wheat a year and 100 to 120 tonne of barley. Up in this area we make all our own diets, so we've got a nutritionist which formulate our diets, all balanced on amino acids, energy, protein and the likes, and it's for different stages of growth rate. The effluent's one of our assets. We see it as a key component to the operation of our pasture part of the farm and our cattle operation. All our effluent from the piggery complex ends up in these 2 tanks down the bottom here. We take the solids away on the tractors and spread it on the areas where we haven't got the travelling irrigators, and then the bulk of the flats that you can see through the bottom here has got underground piping in for our irrigators. The operation over here is predominantly Friesian bulls. They just fit our workload. Like, the piggery is very much our priority, and so we can work the cattle around the piggery. Come winter we'll be feeding out silage and break feeding, but again it fits around the pressure workload of the piggery. That's where our money is made, and the cattle complement the piggery operation very well. I'm very comfortable with the operation we run. I support the indoor production. It's internationally recognised as the best format for running pigs. They're a modern genotype. They need a lot more looking after than where they derived from hundreds of years ago. We've bred for an indoor facility type concept. Equally, I support the people that choose to go outdoors. They tend to run a slightly different genetic base. We like the control of our productivity. We like the idea of being able to sleep at night, that there isn't weather constraints affecting animals. We've provided shelter, we've provided food, we've provided water. We believe we've met the needs of the modern animal that we're farming with.
This program was made with funding from New Zealand On Air.